Outrage in Washington as thousands of National Guard troops who put their lives on the line to protect President Joe Biden at this week's inauguration were forced to sleep in a parking garage without any heat and only 1 or 2 bathrooms reported after being thrown out of the Capitol. A lot to talk about with that. Good Friday morning to you. Welcome to National Report. We're glad you're here. I'm Sean Kreisman.
I'm Emma Reckenberg. A lot of people upset about those images. The troops were sent to the garage after spending much of the previous week sleeping on the cold marble inside the Capitol. But the question this morning is, who ordered them to move into the garage in the first place, and why? Let's get the latest from Newsmax White House correspondent Emerald Robinson. Emerald, what have you learned, and how long are troops planning to stay in Washington?
Yeah, so there's lots of backlash on a couple of fronts in regards to the inauguration. One is still the remaining troops that are here in Washington, D.C. There's about 10,000 or just over 10,000 that are currently here still on duty, but they're mostly just standing around. There's lots of calls to send them, especially from Republican lawmakers, to that their job is done and that it's time for them to go home, especially after this news yesterday, after we found out that troops who were continuing to guard the Capitol, though there's a significantly reduced threat to the Capitol building, according to sources we've talked to, that they were sent to a garage where there was only a couple of restrooms. There was no Wi-Fi. There was concrete floor in order to rest. There are reports that this happened after a Democrat congressman complained about one of the guardsmen not wearing a mask while being in the Dunkin' Donuts there on Capitol Hill, and then they were moved. Of course, we've seen a lot of pictures and images and videos over the last week of our National Guard troops lying on marble floors in just different corners of the Capitol, not in exactly very comfortable circumstances, trying to rest. But that's not the only backlash that this inauguration is getting. The new president is also getting backlash for his not exactly leading by example, as he likes to often put it, on mask wearing. In fact, during his trip to the Lincoln Memorial, going maskless after just signing an executive order dictating a mandate that everyone has to wear masks while on federal property and in federal buildings. In fact, the new press secretary was confronted about this yesterday during her daily briefing. Take a listen.
Why weren't President Biden and all members of the Biden family masked at all times on federal lands last night if he signed an executive order that mandates masks on federal lands at all times?
At the inaugural
at the Lincoln Memorial, yes.
I think, Steve, he was celebrating.
But as Joe Biden often talks about, it is not just important the example of power, but the power of our example.
I think we have bigger issues to worry about at this moment in time.
So it was a big issue when President Trump didn't wear his mask, but now it's bigger issues to look at.